As you can see, Diesel had a reaction to scooters and lunged and barked whenever one or more approached. It didn't matter if he was stationary or walking, or whether the scooter came from behind or from the front where he could see it approaching. Once Diesel started lunging and barking, there was little that could be done humanely to stop the behaviour. He wouldn't take treats, he couldn't hear cues, and crossing the road or trying to increase distance was a physical battle. This made walking Diesel a stressful and rather unpleasant event for both Diesel and his guardian. He had a similar reaction to bikes and skateboards. Through a carefully planned behaviour change program involving counter conditioning and systematic desensitisation, Diesel's reaction to bikes and scooters was changed. What on earth does that mean? In a nutshell, Diesel's emotional response to scooters was changed and he no longer had the need to bark and lunge. He was also given an alternative behaviour to perform whenever scooters approached. Scooters approaching became an anticipated event and he now looked to his guardian whenever one approached. The following is a video account of the steps taken to help Diesel. No force, that is leash jerking, dragging, choking, yelling, pain, electrical shock or intimidation was used. These methods wouldn't have created a positive emotional response to the scooter. Worse still, they risk creating a very negative response, including one towards the handler. This does little to increase the bond between the guardian and the dog. Diesel's reaction was carefully assessed for exactly when the barking and lunging occurred. The distance he could tolerate the scooter without causing lunging or barking was noted. This was only done once to get the baseline for the procedure. To be effective, it is best not to let the dog practice the behaviour of concern, so we made sure not to put him in a situation where he would lunge and bark for the rest of the procedure, even during normal walks. Every time the scooter started moving, he was engaged in something he enjoyed a lot, in this case getting food. When the scooter wasn't coming, no food was presented. It is important for the handler and helper to work together for good timing. Notice how Dan gives the ready signal. She's also letting me know that Diesel is coping well, and I can bring the scooter closer. Exposure to the scooter was gradually increased in very careful increments that still caused no barking or lunging. That is, distance was slowly being decreased until the scooter could ride right past without a reaction. We make sure to test Diesel's reaction first by not going straight past immediately. This is to check his progress has been maintained and being careful not to provoke any barking or lunging. Demonstrating in real time the gap between nothing happening and then a counter conditioning trial. It has to be obvious that treats only come when the scooter comes. I only move past when he no longer moves away. Two bikes are approaching. Diesel has lunged and barked at bikes in the past. Because he has done lots of work getting used to bikes, is relaxed, and has successfully ignored bikes recently, his guardian makes the decision to stay, with good results. If ever in doubt, Remove your dog before a reaction occurs. It is important to start with and maintain a relaxed dog. Learning dog body language is essential to recognise when a dog is relaxed and when he indicates signs of stress. Diesel was taking treats with a harder mouth than usual, so I chose to run past with the scooter rather than change direction at this time. A dog on lead came up the path. Diesel was moved away. Although he is safe, under control, and 4 metres away, he still barks, which is arousal we don't want. Next time, he will be removed to inside the house, no matter who or what is coming down the path. Diesel is not overly aroused, so we make the decision to continue. If he was too agitated or worked up, the session would have been over until Diesel was completely relaxed. It is very important to start with and keep a very relaxed dog for this to be effective.
First time he came in. You okay? Yeah. Good boy. Boy, excellent.
I can ride straight past on the first go. It's time to raise the difficulty. I'm approaching from the front so Diesel can see me coming. Notice that the treat delivery has changed slightly. It is reduced in frequency and is now being delivered to coincide with a desired behaviour, not just when the scooter approaches. The behaviour is one Diesel offered easily, in this case when he stays in the heel position. Diesel's guardian was curious to see how Diesel would react if the frequency of treats was further reduced. Is he just distracted by rapid-fire food presentation, or really getting more comfortable? Diesel is doing well. His body language is soft, and after the first few trials, he doesn't need to look to see I'm coming from behind. He knows I'm there, and is looking expectantly at his guardian because the scooter means good stuff is going to happen. Hold it right there! Isn't that a child on the scooter? Doesn't Diesel react a little around children, especially when they move fast? What are we doing? We are trying to replicate what will happen in the real world on normal walks. It's usually children who ride scooters, so Diesel's reaction to a strange child on a scooter is being carefully assessed. That's why Holly doesn't ride past straight away. We can also control what happens so that Holly only moves in a way that doesn't cause Diesel any concern. Diesel is doing fine, so we start to gradually increase criteria, that is, getting closer, always watching Diesel's reaction as we go. When relying on others, especially children, it's wise to be very clear on what is expected. This is where the orange cones came in handy, to indicate start and stop points. Diesel doesn't even flinch with an unexpected scooter jump. We can start moving on and get him walking now.
Alright, Dan starts walking. Wait, Holly. Okay, Holly starts.
He can be on either side of his guardian. She doesn't need to keep her body in between him and the scooter anymore. What happens next is an indication of how comfortable Diesel has become with a child scooting past. He is more interested in some strangers in the background than the scooter right next to him. He keeps looking back.
Yeah, he is.
We are able to test his reaction to the different criteria very quickly now. Since scooters often travel in packs, we want to make sure Diesel is okay with 2 scooters. We're trying to think up ways to replicate what he may be faced with on walks.
Alrighty.
So we change locations, use a barrier so he can't see the scooter, and try to sneak up on him from a different angle. Finally, we try outside his home. We know historically he reacts to a lot of things here. Can he be fazed? Nope. Notice how he appears unsettled and is pulling on the lead. There is always a reason dogs do something. The pavement is hot and he's heading for the shade. We're going to do one more and call it quits.
Yeah. So do opposite ways now.
Opposite ways.
Really quickly.
Diesel is ready for the big wide world of walks. Here's a quick reminder of what Diesel's reaction used to be.